10:00. We can call the meeting to order. First thing, election of officers.
I move that we retain the present officers of the previous year.
Or
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Approval of agenda.
I'm gonna have some things under both old and new business.
No problem. Okay.
Move that we approve the agenda.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Review and approve the minutes of December 14th. They look good to me.
Move to approve.
Support.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Review and approve bills. Accounts payable, December 28th for $165,827.01, and January 11th for a total of $289,92.64. Get these out here. Electronic transfers. Okay. So we should have two and then an electronic transfer.
Do we have a motion to do them all at once, or are you waiting on a motion?
Oh, we'll wait. Yeah, we'll wait.
Move to approve both payroll, or both accounts payables dated December 28th and January 11th.
I'll support the motion.
All in favor?
Can you give us just a little?
Yeah, that's what I kinda wanna look it over here.
Yes.
Discussion.
The Trans Lease Inc. for $22,000, is that for the new trucks?
Yes.
And that's actually for both trucks for 2 months.
Yep. And then I see we paid consumers $27,000 to move the power line.
Well, they were supposed to come out on Monday to actually physically do it, and weather has postponed them, so that still hasn't been relocated yet.
And we have to prepay. Why aren't we paying after they've done it?
Cause that's what they require?
Well, that's my question.
That's
Is
what
that what
they
they require, is a prepay on
Yeah.
that? And we're fully aware that we had to prepay versus, after it was done then.
It was never a question to me, so yes, I assumed we had to do it before.
They should have had it done already, but.
Right.
Their scheduling and our weather has
Yes.
held them up.
Is the 27,000 initially, my recollection was that you had said they were gonna charge us 35, so is.
Yes, they're gonna charge us the 27 to move it out of the right of way. We have to pay for that. They'll pay to move it back. They're taking the cost to move it back. And that was what added up to
35,
30.
so we are gonna get by a little cheaper than what they had.
A little bit, yeah. And I would say the reason they're paying to move back, because all they gotta do is move the wire at that point. Yeah, all the poles are still sitting there.
Sitting there.
And
Yeah, I was down there a week ago and it sure didn't look to me like the wires had been moved.
I was told that they were going to have them moved, and then there was the 8th, and now they've said that the weather held them off on the 8th, so.
So is this holding up the work on the
No, they moved
bridges?
over to the other bridge, and so
Okay.
they're doing work on the west bridge
Yeah.
while this one, I think they've actually started tearing out, they just can't drive the piles with the crane,
At the east.
with the wire,
Yeah.
there, so they can pretty much do a lot of work until they have to drive piles.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, the old deck is all gone.
yeah, so they're saying that once the crew's out there after the weather, it'll take 2 to 3 days to have it moved and.
So the Van Brunt transportation for 35,000 has to do with limestone, is that for limestone that will be used in 2024?
Yes. That's stockpiling it right now.
Stockpiling, and some of that will be paid by the townships? Or will all of it be paid by the townships, because we don't,
Pretty much all.
We
Yeah,
don't
pretty much all of
pay-
it, cause we don't really use limestone.
They'll be billed for it after we do the spreading.
so again, I guess my question is those townships that use a lot of limestone, that their roads are limestone, and it needs to be patched, do we pay for the limestone to patch those? Or does
If
it-
it's just spot patching, yes. I mean,
Okay.
if it's just they're out scraping,
Okay.
they'll out scrape, and if they need to dump their ballast to fill in a little spot and keep scraping, yes, those we pay for.
Right,
But
and
when
we
we go
actually
in
put
and like-
limestone in and not
Yeah.
gravel in those spots?
Yeah, they know
So
which-
those trucks
Oh, trust
carry.
me, they'll,
Okay, I
they come unglued if we put gravel on their
I
limestone
can
road.
imagine, yes, okay, well, that's why I'm asking the question.
Yeah.
So most of that is paid for by the townships,
Yeah, pretty much.
a little bit
Pretty
might
much.
be ours, okay. It's just funny to think that we're stockpiling for summer work, but that is the way it works, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Well, if we don't, then
Oh, no, I
we
agree.
never catch up.
Exactly, no, I get it, I get it,
Now is the time
Yeah,
to
yes,
have them back.
Oh, absolutely.
They're always about a half a year out.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, we gotta be planning back here for what's happening.
yep. It's kinda what we do in budgeting too, right?
Try to.
You're working in 3 years all the time. Last year, this year, next year.
Yeah.
And I don't want that.
Oh, here. That's what it is. Oh, yeah.
When I seen Van Brunt on there, I knew. That's what that was.
Makes a big difference when they start hauling now,
They haul
compared to waiting until April.
they haul a lot of grain down to the river and Maumee.
so, question, Bob.
Mhm.
My understanding that the
You include
last of the generators
EFT.
are here.
Everything's in and installed.
I didn't see that anywhere on either of these bills. Is that yet to come?
That is yet to come.
Okay.
Oh, that's a question. I've got, Hillsdale Township wanted to know if there was any outstanding invoices coming, cause they did get one for the Pond Brook.
Yeah, I would have to look at my spreadsheet, but, everything that was billed. They shouldn't be getting anything else billed for December, by December billing. Everything was billed in November.
There's nothing else hanging out there that's gonna be built.
Job wise, no,
Okay.
no, cause it was just the chip seal and box
They
seal.
asked that question at the board meeting of me.
But I can tell you the balance, if you like, after this.
What I'm thinking is they don't wanna come to the township board meeting and hand them
That says special notice.
please pay that.
Yeah.
Any more discussion? If not, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion carried. Should be one more. One more set of bills. There's one more set of bills. Two. Oh, right there. Yeah, yes. Not good. He
payback is back.
Now that we have the generators installed, we probably won't lose power for 20 years.
That's
Probably.
Good insurance.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good thing.
That's a good thing.
We have one at our house too. And I was sure glad we had it a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've got 3 or 4. Big ones, small ones, in betweeners. I even bought one at yard sale. Fortunately for my son-in-law, I loaned it to him, I haven't seen it since.
Well, that assures that he's not gonna come and stay at your house.
Yeah.
Think of it like that.
That's a very good point, Gary.
Okay, now the next one, payroll. Dated December 21st, $105,851.50, regular. January 4th, total, 101, 120.58, regular. And then January 10th is 39.44.81, special. January 11th, total, 21,838.75, special. You wanna explain them, Katie?
The first, well,
First two.
the
are-
21 is the signing bonus on the contract. So the 3 years.
Mhm.
The admin, the one that's for 39 is the admin bonus, so it's like they get longevity for the years of service, we get the admin, so it's different label.
I'll move and pay payroll.
I'll support.
Any discussion?
The one for 21,000, you said that's a sign.
Signing bonus, so when they renew a contract, they have like the first year of the contract, you get this amount, the second year you get this amount, the third year. And this is the third year, and it was like $500, I do believe.
I didn't realize it was a 3-year signing bonus, I thought it was just the first year they got.
Nope, in the contract, there's 3.
Okay. Alright,
We went for first year.
Wasn't what some of us wanted,
No.
but that's what we ended up with.
okay.
Everybody okay?
I would move, do you have a motion?
Yeah, I think,
Mike made it, I supported it.
Okay,
you okay, Kat?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed to same? Oh.
I said aye.
I know.
I know that sign, I don't like the signing bonus, but
Fine, if that's what was agreed to, then you have to fulfill your commitments.
Honor our commitments.
Yeah.
But that is the last one for this.
yeah, this is, you gotta start on the contract again this year.
Oh, yeah, we gotta sign again. Make it official.
I'm missing one. Mike, have you got another one? Or is it- Oh, never mind, right here. I have stuff together.
signed them.
Yep.
Treasury report.
The beginning cash and investment balance is $3,075,301.19. Total receipts is $796,378.76. Total in bills and payroll is $679,575.29. Bonds and escrow is $10,250. CD reserve for 2 trucks is $629,182.61. Ending available fund balance is $2,552,672.05, and outstanding accounts payable is $35,598.52.
Any questions? Stand as presented, thank you. Okay. Public comment, we don't have much public, Doug.
Doug?
Nothing?
I'm happy to be here.
We're happy to have you.
The third meeting in
Thank you, one after
hour
this,
and a
too.
half. I have this afternoon, yes.
Okay. New business.
I have a quick question going back to the treasurer's report. Do we still have some money outstanding from townships for 2023?
Yes,
A fair amount or?
fair amount, yes, cause I just billed all the chip seal and fog seal, and they have till 45 days from when I billed it, and so that's starting to come in right now.
That'd be quite a bit.
Mhm.
Chip seals.
Yeah, we just got, I know Adams Township paid, and that's been recorded. Now I'm just waiting for all the other townships to pay.
I was amazed at how much Adams Township did in the road projects.
Mhm.
You're number 2.
Yeah.
I was to give them a thank you when I go to the meeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did well. This is the largest year actually for the township, other than 22 was, but there was 680,000 in there for Lake Diane. If you take that out, this is by far the largest on the township.
I was surprised at how much everybody,
That's a lot of money.
yeah, everybody kicked
A
in.
lot of
But keep in mind, we're also matching that.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
picture. Okay. New business. Discuss January 25th meeting. We got a little scheduling problem.
That's scheduling problem?
No,
Go ahead.
Oh. So I think everybody got a copy of this?
well, no, we're talking about the board meeting for
The
the
board meeting,
25th.
we need to move.
We need to move
Oh, okay, sorry.
arbitration.
I thought we were talking about that.
What's the problem on the 25th?
We have.
We have another arbitration scheduled,
Okay.
and that's right, during the same
We can't change that.
timeframe.
So we can go the day before or day after, whatever the pleasure is, don't matter.
Do we wanna go later that day? Starting.
We never know how long they're gonna go.
Okay.
The last one went until about 2, and we had one item that
Okay.
was getting arbitrated.
Okay, alright, that doesn't make sense, but, alright.
Wednesday the 24th.
We can't, we're full on the 24th.
Oh, you could do it in the morning of the 24th, but that may not work
That
for
makes
some
it for
people.
an entire day.
A long day.
Yeah.
Friday the 26th, fine with me.
That sounds good to me. Does that work for everybody else? 26?
Sure.
All right, we'll move to the 26th.
be here for the arbitration.
I did that before, Mark. I've showed up on days we never had a meeting.
The challenge with arbitration, Mark, is to stay awake.
Well, yeah, and I might not be a very good arbitrator.
Okay, highway conference. Oh, where the heck? Did we have Bob in there somewhere? Am I missing something?
He's on the next page.
Oh, we put him on the line. Wow. Okay.
We need to move manager comments to right after public comments, I know.
Highway
It
conference
was,
and road
but
show.
she copied from a previous one and didn't update it.
Anybody going to that?
Yeah, I'd like to go to it.
Anybody else?
Trying to think, that's on
Maybe.
19th and 21st.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, 19th, 20th, or 21st.
What did we do last year for what, 2 days, didn't we?
Well, it's the same time, it's the same, the scheduling is the same every year.
And if you can make it to part, I mean, that's fine too, I mean, that's up to you guys.
Even the road show is really good, that's where.
And normally, I wanna say for the staff, I think me and Katie are gonna go, and the foreman and stuff they'll go to the road show if they want to, and that doesn't cost anything, we just have to register. And anybody can go to the road show, we just need to register.
You want the commissioners there, or you don't care if we're there?
Whatever you like.
Some
Some things are interesting for you, some things aren't. I don't know how to pick for each one of
Right,
you.
and that's in Lansing?
Yeah.
Alright,
I think last time you guys stayed at the hotel out
Well,
there.
that's
on
because
Lake
they were
Nancy.
working on the hotel downtown.
Yeah,
And so now they've got them both at the Radisson and the one that's like kitty corner from the Lansing.
that's downtown, alright.
Yeah, they're both walking distance to the one block from the.
I got a folder in the mail that I didn't know.
Yeah, it came in, that's what it was about.
I guess I wanna look at it first before I make a commitment, I always call.
You got time.
Yeah, so I'll have her, I can have her register till next week.
So I definitely wanna go.
I'd like to go, but I just don't know what days I wanna do it in, so.
That's the folder there.
Oh, that's the
I
folder?
have the agenda that was sent to me,
That's
and I can make copies if needed.
I'll take a look at it.
I've got one out there too, so I need some.
What days they're talking about here.
So I have a question about, the Southeast Michigan Conference, or the
The Southeast
region.
Council,
Yeah,
I was gonna cover that. but-
okay, they typically meet like in February, the next meeting, right?
It's actually, the 29th of January in Calhoun,
The 29th of January.
Wow. What time?
9 AM.
Calhoun County, huh?
At the road commission there.
And where are there, is that in the Marshall area or Battle Creek?
They're basically on the corner of 69 and Michigan Ave.
Yep.
So if you take 94 over to 69, you gotta get off on that little cloverleaf deal, head south on 69, it's the first exit, and then you do this old skip. They're on the other side of
Or
Michigan
the
Ave.
west side of
They're on the
69?
west side of 69, south of Michigan Ave.
Okay,
I think it's 15. 15-mile road is the little road. There's Cole, or is it Cole? There's a Jeep dealership right there on the corner.
Mhm.
It's right behind them.
So this is approval filing?
No, this is Southeast Council. Kind of the same thing, but this is like,
there's about 8 or 10 counties involved in
Yeah.
this. And they typically meet 4 times a year. A year ago, the one they had in early February was in Adrian. I went to that one. Then in August or whatever, they had one in Washtenaw County, and I went to that one. It's a good informative thing, so they, like I said, they do them 4 times a year, so I went to 2 of them a year ago. There was 2 of
It's mainly commissioners and managers that,
So this is when?
January 29th at 9 AM.
Monday.
Yeah,
Oh, I
Monday.
don't know if I haven't got something on that day.
So I wanna go to that too.
No.
I plan on going to that.
Well, good,
No,
I,
I gotta go to the dentist on the 30th, but
perfect.
I guess I could go to that. What time is it?
9 o'clock.
9:00.
And we just need to register and then take a check to the lunch.
You have all that information of costs and,
Yeah, they'll send that out here
okay,
shortly. They just sent out the invitation so far to see who wants to go.
okay.
Okay, roads membership. Did everybody get a letter in the mail for roads membership?
The Roads Plus is what used to be called Rush Pack,
Yep.
and now it's Roads Plus, but it's the political action committee for CRA. So they just try to get as many people to be members and participate and help with pushing issues through the Senate and
House.
So what's the whole thing? So I contribute to it or?
Well, you can't
We do it
contribute public
individually.
money.
it's gotta be
It's
personal.
gotta
Personal.
come
Oh,
out of
that's
your own
right. I
pocket.
got that in the mail, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I filed that.
Ooh.
So that's just kind of a reminder, that came out, and if you'd like to be, you like to be, if not, you don't.
Yeah, I guess I don't.
Here, you got anything on them?
Yeah, I have, well, I had really hoped that Bob's report would go first.
I can, but it's kind of gonna be basic today.
Okay. So, one of the things that concerns me is, last fall I had mentioned this, that, I'd like to see us, have a special meeting, like, for a longer range planning session. I think it would be good for us to, what projects are we gonna shoot to accomplish in 2024? And, well, then another part of that equation too is, what's the plan for the federal dollars that come in for 25 and 26? As a board member, it seems to me like we really haven't had much input on what's happened with that federal money the years I've been on the board.
We can discuss it and see if there's something that you guys wanna, like, put in, but a lot of that gets planned out years in advance with the RTF. And those get programmed in, so like, the projects that, I think we got one project this year for the RTF. That's been they're planned for.
I know that, to finish Camden Road.
Yes.
All right, I understand that, but what's the plan for 2025?
I think we can still set that.
Because I was involved in one of those meetings the first year I was on the board. And at that point in time, what they were looking at, out of ways, was redoing 1.5 miles of Waldron Road south of US 12, and it's gonna cost about $2 million.
Mhm.
That doesn't make any sense to me. If you take from Addison Road south to Prattville Road, Waldron Road, which gets us a tremendous amount of traffic from grain trucks going south, and that whole stretch is every bit as bad as Waldron Road is from that first 1.5 miles off from US 12, and nobody, as crooked as that road is, nobody uses a grain truck to come down that 2 miles. If you're on US 12, you're gonna go on over to 127, or you're gonna go down Moscow Road or something like that to get to stay on better roads.
I mean, that all can be planned in there.
I guess as a board, we could have a planning session.
But once there is an RTF coming up, I'd have to get the exact date. And that's what we do, is see what's available, how much this region gets, how much we're gonna get as far as Hillsdale County, and then you've gotta then pick what you want to go for. I
And then
mean,
we have to match it though.
there's certain matches and stuff, but it's not like you don't have to match the whole thing. But yeah, that's all in the planning, when we meet with the RTF, and then the whole RTF decides, okay, you know, Jackson's gonna get this much, Lenaway's gonna get this, Hillsdale's gonna get this, and we just plan it out.
You know, and then I guess another, you know, concern I have is we have these two bridges that we closed this past year. And, are we going to be able to replace one or both of those in 2024? Where are we in that process?
Well, that will be part of this, but, I can get into it if you want. The Hog Creek, we're waiting on Eagle to give us the preliminary, this is what we're gonna expect kind of thing. And so it's not gonna be the actual permit, but it'll be like, when he gets out there and evaluates the whole site, right now it's a 19-foot bridge between abutment to abutment. If it can go back in as a 19-foot bridge, we've already got an estimate from Crenn Timber Bridges to do kind of the same thing as Camden Road, just on a smaller basis. I think that's pushing 180 for the actual bridge itself, which would make it about a $400,000 job total, and we'd split that, you know, so about 2 for Allen Township, 2 for us. But we're waiting on Eagle to tell us what we can do actually. So if they have to go out to where it goes through the creek goes through the bridge, and then it's scoured out and widens, you know, if they make us go to that, it's gonna go to like a 40-foot bridge.
Oh, my word.
We don't know. And so the request has been put in, we're just waiting on them to
And we
give us the preliminary.
really have no idea how long that's gonna take.
Sometimes he'll get out there in a couple weeks, sometimes it's a couple months.
Is there anything, can you call him again or call him every day?
I've been hounding Charlie every day, but I'll try to call Scabina himself and see if.
Rich Poindexter is the farmer that lives right there.
Mhm.
He'll be calling you.
Okay, yep.
I mean,
My
to me,
assumption would be that they should easily be able to be done this year. And even the other one, Elm, is a culvert, hopefully with minimal, you know, issues, that we should be able to do that one too.
Is John coming himself, or does
No, yes.
Matt don't come?
A lot of times John comes, but he might be trying to.
Matt ended up at the Camden
Wayne.
Road one, and that kind of surprised me, but Matt's a lot easier to deal with.
I will say that, yes. But, so yes, we're technically waiting on them. We know if the timber is what we want to go with, because both the abutments, one abutments may be okay, the other one has to go. So if we're gonna do that, you might as well dismantle the whole thing and put in a timber bridge. We already know what that's gonna be roughly, and I think he basically quoted, I think 6 weeks from order. So we tell him we want that bridge in 6 weeks, he can have it sitting on the ground. So the other's a culvert, and if it works out, we've got a culvert sitting here that should work for Elm. And even we've got one for Trip Road too, that we gotta do, but that one's not closed right now. So those are all in the works.
Well, their deal is they need it done. So they're not really concerned about, concerned, but the big issue is how much it is when they can do it, they wanna get it done.
Yep. Well, nothing will get done until
Right,
spring, summer,
right,
you know, so.
yep,
Yeah, the way they talked when I was there last time, they were perfectly okay with funding half of the bridge, because they knew about what ballpark it was gonna be in. They were just concerned maybe they would have to ask to have it spread over 2 years. And I think we talked about that once before, and you guys were okay with that, so.
Yeah. Well, in my opinion, I think both of these bridges, ideally, I'd love to see them done in 2024.
I would too.
If we can get there.
And unless we run into some kind of hiccups with mussels or bats or who knows, rattlesnakes,
Okay.
I don't see any issue why those two couldn't get done.
And so then, something else, is we've got an awful lot of primary blacktop roads that, needs attention. Whether it's chip seal and fog seal, whether it's, paver patch, and then chip seal and fog seal the following year. And so, you know, right now, I don't know of any quote plan to do any of that in 2024. And so
That's what we're working on.
well, that's good, because, but I think we as a board need to, you know, need to be informed and need to be involved in that process. And something that I've had brought up at a couple of township meetings that I've been at here in the last week is the mile of Burt Road and a mile of Bird Lake Road that's gonna be used for the detour route when the state fixes the M99 project. Can we get a commitment of some money from the state to resurface those roads? Because you put semi-traffic on them for a month or 2 months, or nobody really knows how long that project's gonna last.
But by the same token, nobody knows what damage it's gonna do either. So MDOT's not gonna, like say, oh, we're gonna resurface those roads. What they do say is we'll come in and we'll address any issues that come up because of the detour. So resurfacing is part of it, and that's what it warrants. Then I've never had an issue with them coming through with repairing the roads. They're not gonna say we're gonna resurface because it might not take a lot of damage. So they're not gonna commit to doing something if it doesn't wind up needing it.
Who does the recording of the surface of the road before the detour?
And not the contractors, but that's all federally funded, and trust me, they're dotting their i's and crossing their t's on everything to include the detour route. Because of the federal dollars that are tied to it, they have to do it, all the inspections and everything.
Okay.
Now, we can do our own, we can go through and video the roads ourselves too, not a bad thing for any project like that.
I would think so, in case somebody somewhere wants to weasel out of something.
But like I said, in 14, 15 years of working with MDOT, I've never had an issue with if they did something like that not coming through and assisting with the repair, or actually doing a very good repair usually. But
In the plan to fix that situation, you know, if you go down there right now on the east side of the road, there's a pretty good pond of water. You know, and when the drain commissioner and the engineer were here a couple months ago, you know, Matt made the comment that that project might have to get delayed until like August or September till that stuff dries out. Well, some input I had from somebody on the township board who works for the Ohio State Highway Department is, he says in situations like this, and what he's seen done down there is they'll bring a special company in to de-water the area and not wait for Mother Nature to take its course.
and I would say that MDOT couldn't do that too. I don't know, but
Yeah.
Mother Nature's gonna. It might be a dry year, it might be a wet year. We don't know.
No, we don't know.
So they're usually pretty good about either changing the time frame or bringing something in to handle the situation, or beefing up the road, or some kind of stabilization.
that it for new?
Yeah, pretty much, I really would like to see us sometime in the next couple months, hold a special meeting where you can bring for us, what's your plan for this year?
Plan.
And, where we can all have the opportunity to review it and have input.
A little bit of it's gonna get driven by what we find out at the township meeting, what they're actually looking for. We're gonna have to limit some of that work this year, cause we did a lot for the township, work last year. So we're gonna have to limit that this year so we can get the primary roads worked on this year. And so we'll have to do a little bit of give and take to see what they want, but yes, significantly it'll be on the primary road system this year. And once we figure that out, we can sit down and have a meeting for both that, and by then I'll know what the RTF's looking at, as for how much money and when, and we can.
Do you
do
have
it.
any idea how much we might have to transfer from primary to local this year?
Not yet.
I didn't think you would this early.
When it gets closer to the audit and get some of the money from them brought in and stuff, I'll see, but.
And how much the townships want done too.
Well, that's for what we've done this past year.
Yeah, Bob's question pertains to this past year. But I think you raise a good point. I mean, you and I have had this discussion that in 2024, we need to concentrate on primary roads around the county.
It won't be 100%, we still need to do,
Oh, yeah.
some minimal work, and a lot of it's probably gonna be deburring. I mean, to be honest with you. There'll be some paver patching and chip seal, but not as much. A lot of paver patching and chip seal on the primary roads.
Okay. Old business, update on errors and omissions of liability coverage.
So I got a hold of Chris up and the, limits for the email insurance. Including claim expenses under the error and omission liability coverage agreement is $10 million, and is subject to that limit for each claim. The total limit for all claims, including claim expenses under the agreement, is $10 million in the aggregate.
Is that per person?
Yeah, I believe so. I asked what the rate, what the limits were, and this is what they gave me.
Okay. Good.
So the insurance pool, they've got such a huge.
Yeah.
Lot.
Well, with the MMRMA, their limit is 15 million, and that's per person per claim.
Oh, that's really not too bad then, and you guys don't have to deal with it.
Right.
Okay. Anything else on old business?
Okay, so you're gonna, including in your report, you're gonna talk about the two bridges on Territorial a little bit.
A little bit, there's not a whole lot going on there, but.
That's great. Manager, you're up.
Okay. Don't have a lot, I'll just go over some of these. We finished up our OSHA 10 training, which is all of our new people, Chrysler comes in, they do the training for all the newer people, like 5 years and less, I think. And he's done 3 different groups now. The third group pretty much got most everybody. There might be a couple stragglers that we have to figure out when to get them in there, but that got the basic safety stuff out to him. So that's all wrapped up. He said everything went well. Everybody was, receptive to what he was trying to explain to them and engaged, and he appreciated that. So, let's see, the 2 mechanics that we offered positions to, both accepted, both started. One started this past Monday, and one started the Monday prior to that. So, it is Jim Headley. He was actually a Jackson DOT mechanic, and Spencer.
Black. I don't know how you pronounce it. Blacker.
Yeah, he was AIS, service tech that would come around, he would come and, my mobile tech would come and fix our equipment here. And so they were both very, very good, very knowledgeable, they know our kind of equipment. So they jumped right in and that'll help immensely.
Good.
Let's see. I guess with that, the 3 trucks that we purchased and last week are all here. They're all getting in checked. Getting stickers put on them, getting radios put in them. They had like amber and blue lights because that's the way they were spec'd over there for MnDOT. So we gotta take the blue lights out, put green in so that we're not making people mad.
People think you're in Minnesota or?
So anyway, they're doing the in check. All 3 of them are here. You just sign the lease payment for the first 2 months. That's January, February's payments. As soon as they're in checked and ready to roll, they'll be put on the state trunk lines, and I think 2 of the trucks will get bumped out of the state trunk lines. I don't know if all 3 will or not, depending on how many they got. And then we'll go from there. So those are about to be in there. We talked about the township schedule. No, we haven't.
No, we haven't.
Okay. Okay, so did you all get this page of the township meeting schedule for?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any outstanding issues with any of them for anybody?
Gary, have you talked to, Wright Township hasn't replied to us.
Really?
I know sometimes,
Their meeting is tonight,
okay, maybe they'll do it tonight then.
and I intend on going to that.
Okay,
And that's the only one that hasn't.
that's the only one.
Okay.
So they either can come the 22nd, 23rd, or 24th at 3 p.m.
Alright, so just an update on our,
Wait a minute, I do have a question on the township things. Kind of back to that plan, do we as a road commission have any asks for these townships as to what, based on what we know, what we think they
we're
should be
working on
done?
that right now. So we'll have a few, not many, because we don't want a whole lot of them work
Okay,
out there. Yes, there's a few spots where the drivers and the superintendents and the foremen have said, you know, this, we
This is
need
a
to look at
problem.
this road.
okay,
There's plenty of them out there to pick. It's just we're gonna have to say, you know, for each township,
This
we definitely have their brine and their either gravel or limestone that we'll have. And then there'll be a few specific ones for each township, but.
Okay.
We'll have to see how that goes. Cause like, I take it for like Allen, they're probably not gonna ask for a whole lot, they want that bridge.
Yeah.
That's gonna be their project, you know, and so some of those are kind of a given, but.
And we all understand why that needs to be a high priority for them.
I do.
You wanna tell them about the supervisor?
Oh, yes, I got an email from Steve Isles, the township supervisor for Allen, that he resigned as of Tuesday. He accepted a job that's gonna make him move out of the area, and so he resigned, and Ken Todd will be the acting supervisor until the next election, whatever. But, so,
Alan?
yeah, Allen Township.
Oh, I never mentioned it at the meeting the other night.
Really?
No,
He just texted me like, when was our meeting?
Wednesday? Last night?
And they didn't say nothing?
No.
Let's see.
I thought they had to hand in their resignation,
Yeah, he texted me on Tuesday, or emailed me on Tuesday.
because I know that's what Glenn Frobel did at Cambria.
Huh.
What, he resigned?
Yeah, Glenn moving to North Carolina.
Yeah,
Really?
That's where his wife's from.
Oh, I did
He's
not
been
know that.
gone a month.
I'll be darned,
Yeah, Joel Bowers is the supervisor now.
I did not know that one.
Yeah,
Me either.
Glenn's gone. He's got the deer all scudded out already.
I was just starting to get along with him.
How long did that take?
Oh, about 20 years.
Alright, so let's see, an update on the NRC stuff, nuclear gauge in the basement.
Uh-oh.
So I and John have both completed the Troxler user certification and have the required hands-on training we got from Jackson, on the use of it. So that, along with a few procedural things that I've told the NRC rep that we'll be doing, they're put us back on the list of, to go ahead and renew our license, cause it kinda had it on hold. And we'll be able to press forward there. The one thing that'll probably affect you guys is I told them that we would add to the board agenda that on the first meeting of the year and the first meeting of June, that there will be an item on the board agenda to validate, to like go over and validate that your RSO, your radiation safety officer, which is me and John's backup, are still valid and in place, and that the program gets audited, you know, to make sure everything's good. They do an annual audit, and at one of those meetings, we have to go over that annual audit at the board meeting. So that's one of the things that you'll see come up on those two agendas.
So we won't get fined, is what you're saying?
No, they weren't gonna fine us unless we just said the heck with you. They said as long as we're working with them this time, they said, but if it happens again, I'm pretty sure they'll find you. Cause I take it, this is the third time in recent history that there's been a lack of an RSO here and still have the nuke gauge sitting here. So they're not real happy over that. Luckily, the third strike wasn't out, the fourth strike will be out.
They're gonna go nuclear on that.
So I'm just a little concerned that Bob's gonna glow in the dark now.
And I was talking with Charlie on it, I was like, how bad is this thing? And he says, if you took, there's a little capsule in it. And he said, you took that capsule out and swallowed it, you may get sick for a day or two until you passed it, and that's it. There's not enough radiation in it to really hurt you. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna trust you on that one.
Right.
You swallow it.
Yeah. But-
We can't even build a bomb out of it? Or
No. So I've got a couple of, I've got a book, doing up a book and setting up a new file that'll be in my bottom drawer over there. That'll have all the NRC stuff in it. And both me and John will be trained, so there's always a backup. So one leaves, you've still at least got the backup. And that's what's never happened here. It's always been one person. But so when that one person leaves or gets fired or whatever,
Yep.
yeah, and they don't like that. So right now, both me and John are certified as the RSO and the backup RSO, and we'll move forward from here.
Good deal.
And then I also asked him to come back on, I think we figured out February 9th, and he's gonna come back and just go through our stuff, just to make sure we're all in compliance and everything that I was telling him
The truth.
is there. So he will come back and do kind of a courtesy check for us then. Let's see. We kind of talked about the Hog Creek Bridge. Do we need to go over any more of that, or? As soon as we hear something from Eagle, and we know that even if that bridge has to get a little bit bigger, that's in the grand scheme of things, it won't add that big of a difference. Even if you go from a 20-foot bridge to a 30-foot bridge, it's the pilings and everything are the same. It's just the depth is different.
Anything you can do to light a fire under, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, other than don't actually light a fire in it, like.
Yeah.
Like over
Do you have any idea, do they know any more about when they may be able to replace that structure?
I haven't heard from them yet.
I think it was posted, on Facebook, I think it was like 25 or 26, 2025.
Oh, my word.
That was a pretty good sized bridge though.
Yeah, Nick,
And high off the,
from what I read, that they were gonna have to apply for some kind of a grant or funding to replace it. Because Lenawee County didn't have the money to do it.
Wonder what happens to the guy that set it on fire.
I would think that they could come back on his insurance for liability or something.
thing, but
Well,
I know, I sure tried.
what about the road commission itself? Would there be any insurance coverage with the road commission? Why wouldn't that? Something like that, I mean,
I would have to say, cause that would then fall back under McChrysip, and I would say McChrysip would go after the
Yeah.
property owner.
Yeah,
which would be understandable.
yeah, because he set the fire, or started the fire.
It's independent, right?
They did it on a windy day and it got away from me. I guess he's an elderly man.
Okay,
Anyways.
Anyway,
It is our bridge.
that's that. We had that meeting back a little bit ago with the Amish bishops. They did bring in a map, so I've got a map now of what they've called their primary, the roads that they most use as a priority, and then a couple of them that are like their secondary ones. I kind of went in and kind of marked where we would think signs would go, and if we did everything that they're looking for there, you're talking about 20 signs. And do you want that many signs out there? I can, once I get them validated, I can bring them back to you and say this is the projected sites for them and why. You know, because some of them, like one of them, two of them cross 49. So no matter what, when you're coming off of 49, either way, you'd want a sign. You know, and I kind of did that to all the major intersections. If it was just a gravel T that came in, I didn't put another sign to it. But if it was a extra traffic per se coming onto, I think it was basically like Camden and part of Montgomery, and then a little bit over on the west side of 49. Anywhere there was significant traffic that I thought would come onto that, I marked them. That's put 20 signs just for that one little area. So you did that, and then all of a sudden, every other area, you're gonna want to put a lot of signs out there. I don't know if you want that many. One of the routes is 49, and without MDOT's approval, and I doubt MDOT will put a sign on 49 for that, but I'm asking. The signs themselves, I want to say, are $55 and some change, plus it'll be the post and the labor and equipment to install. So we'll have a whole thing of, I'm just going to have them do a spreadsheet of what does one sign cost, and then we'll multiply it out by however many signs that they install.
And once that were to get done, you may need to go back to them and say, this is what we project. If we agree to put all those signs up, this is what it's gonna cost. Are you sure that you want all these? They may decide that they don't need that many.
Yeah.
They may decide that some of those they can do without.
To me, that was kind of a, I don't know what you're gonna call it worst case scenario, but that's the most signs that I thought would feasibly need to be there.
Yeah.
They could easily get away with a few less.
Yeah.
But
From the map that they gave you.
yeah, and I've got that on my desk if you guys want to look at it after this.
I'll just throw this on the table. This is the first I had seen these signs, but we went to Morenci last Sunday after church, and on Territorial Road, it's Morenci Road in Lenawee County, just east of 127. There's an Amish buggy sign there. And coming west out of Morenci, just past the village limits on the same road, there's one there. They're brand new. I've never seen, I mean, they've been put up just within the last month, I would say.
Well, I take it, they're kind of pressing the issue a lot of places. And so it's kind of a growing.
We got them on Jonesville Road. Well, they've had them on.
In Branch County.
For a while.
Well, Jackson's had a couple, but in specific areas. There's more of like in Plasky.
Yes.
And it drops down this big hill. That's one slows them, but then you don't see them as far out either. And so there's signs on that hill and there's signs at their school, I think. But they're there, used, judiciously.
Yeah.
But yes, we'll figure out the exact placement of how many, how much each one costs, and then go back to them and say, is this what you want?
Because they agreed to pay for them.
And if they get damaged, vandalized, they would have to pay to replace them. Let's see. We already kind of talked about the Southeast Council in Calhoun on Monday, January 9th, or 29th.